Tchoukball on Fire, episode 16. Thank you for joining us to our monthly episode. You can watch other interviews at tchoukballonfire.com. Okay, Tchoukball Nation, I'm simply glad to introduce my guest today, Leigh Merchant, who makes no qualms when it comes to Tchoukball. His British culture and origins are without doubt manifest in his personality, but when it comes to Tchoukball, he is definitely Swiss. Leigh was introduced to Tchoukball by watching his daughter play at a local tournament. Now he's hooked himself. As an active member of Nyon Tchoukball Club Switzerland, Leigh has taken on responsibilities as coach, president, and referee. Outside of Tchoukball, Leigh has a mixed background from the design world and youth work. Today, he works at a British boarding school in the Swiss Alps, not in their faculty as a teacher, but in the advancement office as graphic design and web manager, helping to push their brand to new heights. Leigh is always trying to find ways to implement his experience and skills back into Tchoukball and increase its visibility. Let's find out more about Leigh. Tell us about your motivation to play the sport.
As you read out earlier, my cultural background is obviously British, and the sport in Britain is football. But trying to play that in Switzerland is not quite the same, and I had a number of accidents myself. So to discover a sport that is just as exciting as football, but doesn't have the physical contact was a great opportunity for me. So I jumped at the chance to try and play. My motivation is also because my children are involved in it, but at the same time, I get the thrill of the sport myself. So that's why I'm into Tchoukball.
Excellent. In your opinion, what are the values of Tchoukball?
I think one of the greatest values is obviously the fair play. You watch football anywhere around the world, and there's quite a bit of cheating, there's quite a bit of deceit going on. But you watch Tchoukball, and the general rule of play is that it's going to be fair. By saying that, I mean that a player might give a point against his own team because he's seen that it's a point, and he wants to make sure that the rules are stuck to, and so they give that point. So the value is fair play. That's for one thing. It's also something where there's a bit of respect for the other team and each player, because everybody has to play their part on the team. You can't have one player that's got all the skills and can win a match. It's a real team effort. So values of standing by each other and looking after each other is important, and being part of a team is a great value in Tchoukball. So those are the two values that I see are foremost in Tchoukball, and the ones that I really enjoy the game for.
Excellent. Tell us about your Tchoukball volunteer activities.
Okay, as you said again earlier, I joined Nyon Tchoukball Club. Here we go, great club it is too. Just because I went to watch my daughter play a local tournament. And I'm somebody that jumps in at the deep end. I like to be involved and help out wherever I can. And so I joined pretty quick, and I got on the committee. Started to help organise some of those things. Then became a coach for the Sport for All, Sport pour tous, the Sport for All category. So I got my badges at the Jeunesse et Sport and started coaching there. Then I carried on coaching at another level. I wanted a bit more of the competition element back into it, and so coached some of the younger players in League B. And I've also been president. And being president, what I tried to do was bring some of the skills that we learn at the advancement office at the school I work at, to try and bring policies into the club, so that it's not a free for all. Somebody doesn't just do one thing and then another player decides, oh, I think I'm going to do something, then somebody else comes in and the coach decides this is how we're going to do it. Try and bring a bit of policy to the club. So I've written quite a few papers looking at our strategy, how we're going to move forward as a club. And I've handed that over to the new president at the moment. But we have a strategy of a 6-year plan, a 3-year plan, sorry, to try and implement Tchoukball around Nyon, make it more visible, make it better known in the press, on the telly. We just recently had the local telly come in and film us, the training session. I've also tried to bring it forward to the town of Nyon, so that it's more recognisable and people start to talk about it and take us seriously. So those are some of the volunteer things, and also refereeing. I can't play Tchoukball. I started way too late to play Tchoukball at a real competitive level, but I like the competitive stuff. I like the sport, so I will try and keep it in order as a referee.
Excellent. Tell us about your idea of Tchouka. How did you have the idea and why did you want to start this shop?
Tchouka was an idea that I came about from basically looking at some of the children that were playing Tchoukball. They all had these fancy T-shirts with some characters drawn on them, and I thought, wow, this could be a good idea to get some of the phrases, some of the fair play things, some of the signals that the referees do, and to put those on T-shirts. So I started doing it that way, so that it could get a bit better visibility and maybe worn in the homes. You know, somebody's got a T-shirt on and then somebody starts to ask him what's that mean. But I didn't realise that obviously the kids don't have the credit cards and some of them can't get their parents to obviously buy something for them. So it's basically an online shop. But then I went about it differently, changed the look, took a new concept, and basically the idea is to try and bring the freshness and the colour and the vibrancy of the sport, and put it onto T-shirts, put it onto cards, put it onto mugs, put it onto all kinds of things, and hopefully people buy it and start to wear it and promote Tchoukball that way.
Excellent. So can you give us the website address?
Yeah, it's basically Tchouka, and basically the name Tchouka, it's a mixture of all kinds of things. It's basically my origin, British, which is the UK in it. The T, let's start from the beginning. The T stands for tendance, attendance. Tendance. My tendance is Swiss, which is the CH, and my origin is British, which is the UK. And the whole thing about Tchouka is it's all about apparel, which is like the vestimentaire, the things that people are wearing to promote it on. So the name is Tchouka, TCHOUKA.CH.
Perfect.
Find all about it.
Excellent. According to you, what is the biggest challenge for the diffusion of Tchoukball?
I think over here in Switzerland, for sure, is that even though it's a Swiss sport, it's not recognised as something that is taken seriously in the schools. And I think that has something to do with the teachers not understanding the rules properly. They all have different ways of playing the game. And I don't think when the kids play it at school, they're playing it to its full extent. But we're trying to combat that. Obviously, the Swiss Federation of Tchoukball are trying to do their best with that, and Geneva's doing a great work on that, getting into the schools. But I think that's one of the biggest challenges, to try and show what a serious sport it is and what a difficult sport it is to play, and a complex sport, and such an exhilarating sport. So to try and get that message across to school kids, to sports teachers, it's a big challenge.
I see. What has been your best experience in Tchoukball?
I think that's got to be my first ever Geneva indoors tournament. To see the sport played at such a great level, and to allow everybody to play from juniors, from 12-year-olds to 15-year-olds, 18s, then to have an open tournament, which means anybody can play at any level, mix it all up, and then to see the elite teams playing, but then on top of that to see the elites from the different European countries. It was a fantastic event. I loved playing in that event, the first one, but also to see how Tchoukball all came together in a real tournament such as that. Also, the World Cup in Italy, the atmosphere was electric. The Swiss women, they almost beat the Taiwanese. It's a great final. Fantastic year, fantastic event.
Excellent. What would be the advice you would be given to someone who wants to promote the game in a community?
I think the first thing to do is to look around to see if there's anybody that can help them that lives in that community. Get in touch with the Swiss Federation. That's fstb.ch. Get in touch with them. Get in touch with your own federation, wherever you are, whatever country you're coming from. See if there's anybody that can help. Get some volunteers to get something going. Draw on the experience of those around you, but promote it well and organize it well so that when you do your first event, it is done properly and it's not something that's a bit Mickey Mouse. That's a bit of an English expression, but it needs to be something that's done really well. Because if you give them a taster and the taster is not something that is appealing and not very exciting, then you won't get people coming back. So do something well.
Okay, I see. Excellent. Where do you see Tchoukball in 5 years from now in your country and around the world?
Where do I see it and where I love to see it are probably two different things. But like most sports, they struggle with finances in Switzerland, and sponsorship is something that is necessary. It's most of the players obviously paying for travel, paying for things themselves. If the clubs can't help them, if they haven't got any subsidization from local communities, sponsorship is a big need. So in order to try and get sponsorship, you've got to have a good image. You've got to create something that is going to be worthwhile to the sponsor to look at and think, wow, this is going to be something I want to put my money in because I believe in this kind of activity and the values that it portrays. So in 5 years' time, I would love to see Switzerland having some official corporate sponsors. Maybe somebody like a Credit Suisse, one of the banks, sponsoring the national Swiss team. Some of the local teams finding good sponsorship deals, but making sure that what we'd offer in terms of a sponsorship package is something serious. So in 5 years' time, I'd love to see one of the Swiss brands on a Swiss mail.
Excellent.
Sure.
Excellent. Okay, Leigh, you have been giving us some great advice and information, and we thank you for that. Please give to Tchoukball Nation a piece of guidance, share how we can find you, and we will say goodbye.
Okay, you can find me at Squint, that's SKWINT, at Tchouka, TCHOUKA.ch, squint at tchouka.ch. The website is the same as I've mentioned earlier. And a piece of guidance, I think keep it real, play fair, but play hard.
Okay. All the listener could find all the links and resources you mentioned today on tchoukballandfire.com, Leigh Merchant. Thank you for being so generous with your time, Leigh, sharing your experiences and advices. Tchoukball Nation salutes you, and we will catch you along the road.
Thank you. Goodbye.